quick, I'm going to show you how I do a grease and oil on my Black Max Abu Garcia. This is an old reel, but I still use it some. You can see it's getting a little sluggish. So I'm going to show you how to oil and grease it right quick. First thing you do is unscrew this piece right here, and that's going to allow you to release this cover here. Now, to release the cover, you just twist up and then kind of wiggle it out, and it shouldn't be too hard to get loose. Now, you have a lot of moving pieces in here. You've got this piece right down here that turns, okay? You have this piece right here that moves back and forth, and it moves back and forth on this little rod. And then also, it's got a worm gear right down in here. A little hard to see, there you go. So all of that needs to be oiled and greased. And then also, under here, there's a spot. But the first thing I'm gonna do is take my brakes here, and you can see right there, there's a moving part, and then you have your brakes here. So this is oil that I'm gonna use instead of grease. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going to put a little bit right here on this bearing. You see there's not much at all. And then I'm gonna put a little dot, just a little bit on each brake. All right, and that's all I really need to do to that outside piece. Now right here, you're gonna have another bearing. So I'll usually put a dot on each side of that bearing. Okay, and then you can just put a little bit on the ends of this shaft. You don't need much at all there. That's all you need to do, that shaft. Now, I usually put a couple of drops just right there. And don't overdo it, you don't need a whole lot. See, that kind of got in there good. Spin it a little bit. Now this can be hard to spin when you've got that spool out of there. So don't force it or anything like that. Now right here on this rod, I just put a little bit of oil on it. Just get it a little bit. And you can wait to do that, or you can do it now. It don't hurt to wait till you've got it all put back together to do that, if you want to. Now I'm going to take some of this grease, and this I'm going to be real sparing with. I don't want a whole lot in here, but I'm just going to kind of take some, just kind of work it into that groove there. Now, it don't take much, and as this goes back and forth, it's going to spread that grease on that worm gear. I'll wait till I get it back together because it's kind of, you don't want to mess it up there. Now, one other thing that you could forget is this right here, your button. Now, it gets to where it'll get stuff down in there, and it gets to where it's hard to push. You can either oil or grease it. Doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. I'm going to go ahead and put some oil in there. Just a drop on each side. Let it work itself down in there a little bit. And the reason I oil it right there is because it's not going to catch as much dust and dirt and get all gritty and nasty if you use the oil instead of the grease. So that's kind of why I oil that. Some of them you can see in there a little better, and it don't hurt to put a little grease, but see how easy that's moving now? Now if you got it pressed down, you can also put some up top if you want to. Just kind of, and it don't take much, it runs down there pretty easy. Okay, now let's put this back together. The long end of your shaft to go down in here. Make sure it's down there all the way. Okay. one more spot I didn't show you earlier is right there. Just put you a dab right there too. Okay, so this is going to go on the same way it came off. Have to tilt it up a little, make sure you get it to fit down in there. See how it's up against the reel. Just push it back down, screw this back in. And once you got that done, the one other spot you're going to want to get is right here. So unscrew your tension knob. Okay, and you may have to work your reel to where you can get that tension knob off your handle. Okay, you see right there? Right there you have a bearing. Put you a little bit on that bearing. Okay, once you've got that done, put one little dot. You see that little dot? You can see right there it's got some, so I don't need much. Put a little bit. And that's just where that little stud has a little friction on this cap. That's why you put a little bit right there. Just put your cap back on. Now you turn it and work it a little bit. It feels a whole lot better. I'm going to put a little bit more right here on this shaft. Kind of let it work its way down. Make sure that I've got enough grease right down in there. And I think I'm going to put a little bit more. Once you work it in, it kind of will let you know if you need to add a little more or not. It's been a while since I've greased this reel, so now you'll see that stuff working through there. And that's better. This reel has lasted me a long time. I've had this thing for probably 12 years or so. And it still casts smooth and everything. You just got to take care of them and they'll last you a long time.